Right, just as where we left off. There must be some reason as to why the victim's body was moved. There's no time to ponder that now. Let us continue with our investigation, Detective.
Roger that, sir. I'm raring to go.
This.
What is that?
Why does it say
Gumshoe on there in blood?
Oh shit, it does. I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake! Mr. Edgar, sir, help me, say something, sir!
I don't wanna. It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
That's what the killer was really after. Oh! They're trying to pin on Gumshoe. Gumshoe would never! Sorry, I should have picked a better time to eat my chocolate bar. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up.
Yay! I'm accusing this guy!
Yeah, you fucking tell him. I don't think you've ever outstretched your arm and yelled like that canonically in the games, besides when
Uncalm, it was you who screamed!
Jim's words are more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
You got it.
I didn't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. Some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mind chess?
Mr. Richard, what are you gonna do?
What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. You don't cross-examine him, Phoenix does. Pardon me. It's the defense's job to cross-examine the witnesses in order to find contradiction, in order to get the defendant proven innocent.
Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Might as well. Alright, first I'll listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a form of testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organized file one and present the piece of contradictory evidence. Since I simply use triangle, but that's old news.
But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness L1. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information at new or modified testimony.
I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too.
Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. Now, watch carefully. Fair enough, actually, I think about it now. He did cross-examine Larry and Sister Bikini in Bridge to the Turnabout, so, yep. Edgeworth has indeed cross-examined the witnesses before. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf, but thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters the body was hiding, and it will be his final words you'll be brought to justice. Pardon me. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? That was cool.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Thief? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim? Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? We call it jam in the United Kingdom. Jelly's the wiggly stuff. Unless you are referring to that, which I don't think would be very nice. Peanut butter and jam? A strange combination, but I could see it tasting very well.
But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name.
Well, Jack and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, you accused me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle.
I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal! Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but...
Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor were you paired up with, and what a motive, no? Fuck you, mate. What is that hairline? Your head looks like an egg if you just stuck a wig on the back of it, you stupid twat. Yeah, fuck you. Bellend. That's when you moved Jim's body and what was sitting in front of a bookshelf.
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
Hold it!
Why do you think the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal!
There's a lot a person can understand about another from an impression alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth!
I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game finishing spike.
Objection!
I must object to your line of logic. And which part do you have any objection to? It's yes, well...
Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered.
The detective's right for a change. How did it come to this? Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. Oh! Oh, that's cool. It actually lets you know which statement it is. Okay. Autoplay doesn't do anything. Autoplay just automatically skips the text for you.
Objection!
Ah, got it. Easy. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Postman. There's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of a courtroom into this, I see. No problem. I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible! What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on the shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spine.
Objection!
It's possible they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name, where the file should be, is proof.
Yeah, I mean the S is gone, there's only half an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I really like the music, by the way. Audio. Epic. Oh, it's even in my office as well. Has it still got just 10 files? No, it's got more than 10. 20? Oh yeah, this isn't autosave. Especially as the detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Which means, what exactly? Oh, what does that make this dying message?
It means that the work of criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low, I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see! I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time!
Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant, absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
Ah, but you know it really is a shame.
Twinkies!
Sorry, that was very homosexual. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However...
What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proves that I'm innocent, pal.
Ralph's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? Hey, you there. Yes, sir? What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort the lovely young lady here for me? A lady? Please don't say it's old bag. Sorry, I'm just like... the sprites and the artwork on this game are so good. No time to gush. The girl is a member of the building security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? Usually it's security. Stop about don't.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird. Oh! It's Maggie! A member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir?
Maggie?
Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key which can open all office doors in the building.
What?
If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, And the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me if it was. You'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl's the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe's the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Yeah, I kind of set my notification tone to the evidence sound for Phoenix Wright. Could have been more perfectly timed. I need to turn off TikTok notifications. Incredibly incriminating evidence, what did you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she said. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but... Well, she looks better than she did in Trials and Tribulations. She looks... Well, I was gonna say she looks a bit more confident, but... No, she's still doing the whole, like, looking aside and looking up at me thing. I don't know how to describe it. She's doing like the same thing she does in Trials and Tribulations when she's in detention center. She's still got the feathers on her, well, coat, outwear, whatever you want to call it. But at least she isn't tied to a uniform. Doesn't seem like at least. But I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to. What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Yeah? Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? No, we don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. What do you mean by missing? Nope, never mind. She still wears the uniform most of the time. As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Likely story. Where's your proof the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of evidence testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through bookshelves and at least tried to save. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. But why would she commit thievery, though? Mr. Edgeworth never prosecuted on any of the fucking cases that Maggie was in. Not that I know of. It's the master key to every office in the building. Yep. I can't argue with that. This badge's design is said to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict prosecutors of the law. Well, protectors of the law. Shit. And executors of sentences, much like harsh winter frosts and blazing summer days. To where it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but I have no interest in doing so. So cold. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery, however. Glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? Edgeworth does not take shit. He does not take any shit at all. Hi, man.
Hold it!
I always said with a hocal and feed innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just that there are one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my document Miss Blair from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? No, don't make that face. See, there goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But are we in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? I've already proved her innocent twice. So why would she commit a fucking crime? She's been suspected of 2, cleared guilty of 1 by a fake lawyer, and then proven innocent by the real one twice! She ain't a killer! If so, then I hope you'll understand what I say. Would you fiddle with your fucking court, you jackass? That since she's the only one who could have opened your office door?
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence!
I would love to. But first we should listen to a bit more and digest what he is saying. I have a hunch.
Objection!
Yeah! Pardon me. Do you wish to continue Shut up. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole theory conclusion anyway. That may be, but what you also must be aware of the fact is the secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Well, then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
I like this game.
Curse this, why? What do you...
What's that angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. Ugh. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
And that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Ms. Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she'd stumbled upon Jim, who'd probably had drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was a thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? No, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Wouldn't you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out! This is Mr. Edgeworth's office!
Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit!
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir...
We have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? Ah. I always wondered what that little tuft of, like, whatever it was, sticking out of Edgeworth was, but I've only just noticed he's pointed sideways. That's his cravat. Now, do I do Prosecutor's Gambit, or do I just leave it? Your choice.